A man of impactful words which left a profound legacy in South Africa's democracy. Activist and poet of note, Benjamin Johnson Langa. The son of a religious minister and a housewife intensely involved in the church, as well as brother to 7 siblings, including prominent human rights lawyer who would later become Chief Justice Pius Langa, South African diplomat Ben Langa, as well as writer and poet Mandla Langa. The siblings were raised in a home which valued and emphasized education.
There were books in the house that, for instance, my mother would warn, especially Ben, who seemed to have quite a penchant for having access to all this literature, not to throw them away, but to find aware of what was going on inside the country. My father did give us tacit encouragement, but all that was always flavored with words of warning, because I'm certain he was aware of what the repercussions could be for hardcore or very overt political activity.
In light of their background, it would come as no surprise when the Langa brothers became involved in the fight against the oppressive apartheid regime. In the early 70s, Benjamin, along with his brother Mandla, were students at the University of Fort Hare. Benjamin was elected as the South African Students' Organization General Secretary, and after that served as its publication officer.
He was as aware as was any black person growing up in the turbulent 60s that the apartheid state was evil and that it was killing innocent and unarmed people. All around him, after the massacre of Sharpeville, his close friends were disappearing into exile, and that the country was in trouble.
The dark cloud which presided over the reign of apartheid led to innocent figures who resisted the regime dying. Benjamin Langa was one of the individuals who did not escape the false accusing finger which labeled him as an informer to agents of the apartheid regime. But a revelation during the Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearing by a former Umkhonto weSizwe member, George Martins, cleared him.
Well, as the ANC has said, that the security police managed to get rid of 3 valuable ANC cadres without firing a single shot. They got the 2 young people to kill Ben Langa, and then tried them, convicted them, and executed them for that. And the purpose of our presence here today was not to oppose the application for amnesty, but rather to place facts before the committee from various sources that this was set up.
In May of 1984, 3 men walked up to Benjamin's apartment: George Martins, who was known to Benjamin, Lucky Pai, and Sipho Xulu. Martins knocked on the door and identified himself. The familiarity of what was on the other side of the door led to Benjamin letting him in. What would follow is 2 more figures, Xulu and Pai, who shot and killed him, then immediately fled the scene. The pair were hanged after a court found them guilty, while Martins would later seek amnesty at the TRC for the role he played. He testified that Pai and Xulu told him that a so-called Rolf, their commander, had given them an instruction to kill Benjamin, alleging that he had sold out his comrades.
Won't bring comrade bench back, but nonetheless, I'm sorry for that particular incident. If we knew better, if one knew that, for instance, Ralph was a security agent.
The Order of the Luthuli will serve to continue to vindicate his name and contribution to the struggle for the freedom citizens enjoy today. Canny, Maphanga, SABC News, Johannesburg.